What's up, wrestling fans? I want you Roman Reigns fans and Roman Reigns haters to listen closely. I went over this on an episode recently on Out of Nowhere, the last episode of Out of Nowhere, 97, whatever episode it was. But listen, Roman Reigns fans and haters. I know many of you out there hate Roman Reigns. I know many of you guys out there love Roman Reigns and can't understand why people hate them. But if only the both of you would understand each other, and we could all understand each other, then we could make a better WWE, or we could at least have a better WWE. And that's why I believe 100% that Roman Reigns needs to go heel. And we've said this for years. I've thought that for years. It appears that I want to say 30% of the WWE audience likes Reigns, and maybe another 30% don't really care too much, it seems. And then the rest of the people absolutely hate Roman Reigns. Flip this guy heel in Saudi Arabia. This is perfect. He loses to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, but now he gets a rematch against Brock Lesnar in Saudi Arabia for the greatest Rumble, the greatest Royal Rumble, in a place where women aren't allowed to go wrestle, but sure, it's the greatest Royal Rumble, whatever, WWE. By the way, my name is Joe Cronin. You guys need to hit that red sub button down below if you like this. That way you don't miss my other videos, plus the bell, the notifications bell. Leave a comment down below, but hit that sub button, become part of the channel. Plus, tonight, monetize this. Points in the Bank #2. I have Points in the Bank and the championship. It's going to be an insane night. But back to Roman Reigns. Here's the deal. In Saudi Arabia, have Roman Reigns win the belt and go heel somehow, some way he's heel. First of all, he'll be even more hated in America because he wins the belt in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabia fans, I believe, will cheer for him. From what I understand, they will all love Roman Reigns. They'll cheer for it, whatever. It gets him that cheer. It gets him that pop. It's a good moment across seas. And when he comes back to America, he can simply turn heel at that point and say, I'd love to be here celebrating this with y'all, but, I know how you guys are. See, last night in Saudi Arabia, when I won, I heard all the cheers. Whenever I win, here in America, there's always a lot of people who boo me and who doubt me. And you could really go into him basically saying how much better the national WWE fans are, or the Saudi Arabia fans were, that type of thing, and really have him go Bret Hart. Have him go Bret Hart, Canada versus America. He doesn't necessarily even have to say this stuff directly, but just have him kind of go into it, right? So I really, honestly, dude, he would get so much heat. And right now, as a face, he gets cheered a good amount. As a face, he gets cheered a decent amount in a way, here or there. He gets cheered depending on what city and what hometown or whatever. But as a heel, I really believe that this guy would be definitive. It would be deafening wherever he went. That he would be cheered, that he would be booed, that he would be hated, that he would just be people. My point is, people will pay to see Roman booed. People will pay their hard-earned money to see Roman Reigns booed, to see him lose maybe. And my opinion is, put the belt on Roman Reigns, and when you put the belt on Roman Reigns, you have this guy go up against so many other wrestlers, right? Because nobody is that over right now. Even Daniel Bryan's return, I would still say Daniel Bryan is one of the most over people. But when people even do the yes thing, you can tell that's even died down. People are very happy for Daniel Bryan, and he no doubtably, to me, is probably the number one cheered for face, and even that has sort of died down. So you put Roman Reigns in there, and if you put him against Rusev, guess what? So much of the WWE audience is going to start cheering for Rusev. Rusev Day, we want Rusev, right? Roman Reigns is getting booed insanely then, right, by the crowd at this point. So now you have Roman Reigns that people are booing like maniacs, so he matters more than he ever has. Then you have Rusev, who now inherently would be cheered because people want to see whoever is facing Reigns. So treat it like the New York Yankees and the Red Sox, right? Treat it like a rivalry in sports, whatever rivalry you want to bring up. Subway Series in New York, Flyers, Penguins, I don't know. I don't know what all the rivalries are. Boston versus Yankees, Bruins versus Montreal Canadiens, whatever you want to say. When you hate a team so much, like say you hate the Yankees or you hate the Red Sox, when you hate a team so much, you will just cheer for any other team to beat them. And I think that's where the WWE should go with Roman Reigns. People hate this guy so much. If you could just open the doors to say, not only is he going to be hated, but he's going to give you even more reasons to be hated, and he's going to be the champion. That it's going to become anybody versus Reigns. Whoever's facing Reigns, the people are going to cheer for. If Rusev faces Reigns, they're going to cheer for Rusev. Even if you put Ty Dillinger, the people are going to cheer for Ty Dillinger. If you put Sami Zayn versus Reigns, everyone will get behind Sami. And you can have Reigns just constantly going up against people and constantly getting booed and hated, and he keeps winning. And you would have people paying for every ticket, every show. Maybe this is the time somebody's going to beat Roman Reigns for the belt. And Reigns can defend it all the fucking time as opposed to Brock Lesnar who shows up. Because right now you're sort of doing that with Lesnar. I wonder who's going to beat Lesnar for the belt. Jeez, now he's got the belt again. And it's sort of like that, but it's like we barely see Brock Lesnar. But with Roman Reigns, he would be able to defend it every month. And you just always be like, man, what if somebody beats Reigns? And all the people that really hate Reigns will hate him even more. And all the people that are indifferent will start to hate him and actually care. And there will be some people that will still love him. Though that core of people may still love him. Some of the women, some of the children. That'd be great. Especially if, the women especially still cheered for him. I think not all women, but I mean that portion of women that cheer for him. I think that would add a little bit of even more anger to the men who hate him. Because now they see the women like him. I mean, it would give you reasons to buy tickets to WWE. What's the reason to buy a ticket now? To go there and see Roman, I guess, be a good guy, and he usually wins, but sometimes he doesn't win when you think he would. Yay. It's kind of stupid. It's boring is what it is. And that's why you're seeing house attendance drop. Anybody out there who's like, and by the way, for all the Roman haters out there and all the Roman lovers, either way, whatever you do, I'm giving Roman respect here, right? Roman has worked his ass off. Roman has done everything they've asked of him. I've enjoyed talking about Roman Reigns. I don't like him. I love to hate him, but not as a real person, not as a real man. I like him. I think he's very valuable, and I would find him more valuable if he was a heel. Much more valuable. I could definitely see myself, if WWE Raw rolled around tomorrow, most of the time I wouldn't go. I would just say I'm not going. I'm only going to some of these shows because of meeting people and to hang out with you guys. But if I was just a fan watching, if I'm just me and I didn't have YouTube anymore and the WWE Raw was coming, and it did come before and I didn't go, I'd probably just say, whatever, I'm not going to go. But if Reigns was like heel and crazy, and he was like, Saudi Arabia is better than all you people, like it's better than America. In America, all you guys care about is getting yourselves over and tweeting about things and hating everything and complaining online. That's what America's about. Half you guys have your faces in your phones while the show's going on, and you don't even know what's going on. I'm in a war with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and all I see is beach balls everywhere, and people were chanting negative things. I'm in there having a war. What are you guys doing? Tweeting about your lives? Right now, as far as I'm concerned, the only real fans of the WWE are the Saudi Arabia fans who cheered for me the other night because I put myself and my career on the line to win the WWE Universal Championship. Here in America, you guys don't care. That type of stuff oh my God, dude, you would get so much heat. It would be amazing. Plus, they would endear him to the foreign audience. You know what I mean? To this audience overseas. I mean, they would just kill it. I just see so much money and potential in this. It would actually make me hate somebody for real, like even more. And I'd be like, you know what? I want to pay tonight for a ticket to see Kevin Owens beat Roman Reigns. I want to pay tonight for a ticket to see AJ Styles beat Roman Reigns. And they could just do this until they found the next Hulk Hogan or the next Stone Cold or whatever the next. until they found a face that was capable of doing this. So say Rusev blew up even more, and I know that Rusev's probably going to get fired soon, but say Rusev blew up even more, and every show people were just like, Rusev Day, Rusev Day. And then you started having Rusev say, it is going to be Rusev Day every day. Every win, I will win on Rusev Day every time, you know what I mean? And Rusev Day ends up getting like 50 wins in a row or something. And you build up Rusev, right? And so let's say if the fans stay behind him and stick behind him, and it becomes a crazy thing. And you keep him away from Reigns as long as you can. And then it's WrestleMania time. And like Rusev Day, Rusev wins the Royal Rumble. And then he grabbed the mic and was like, I won the Rumble. It is a great Rusev Day. And the fans are chanting and shit. And then he just goes, now I want Roman Reigns' ass. And he throws the microphone down and he wins the Rumble, right? I mean, dude, that would be insane. Rusev versus Roman at WrestleMania. And like Rusev gets the mic and he cuts a promo on, you know what I mean? I'm not from this country, and I've been here. These people aren't bad. These people are good. These are the best people in the world. These are the best wrestling fans in the world. This company started here in America. You know what I mean? And he just went in a Roman on that, and just you could have Rusev turn into this crazy over face. And while Rusev might be over anyway, Rusev would be over more than he ever would be because of Roman, because Roman is heel. That's what people don't understand. If Roman becomes this mega heel, then they have the ability to create a mega face. It's the opposite of Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Stone Cold was so over as a face. Even though he was supposed to be heel, he was so over as a face. And then Bret Hart left the WWE, right? And they didn't have any heels. They didn't really have anybody yet that could really go after Stone Cold. I mean, they did, but they ended up going with Vince McMahon. Mr. McMahon was Stone Cold's rival until The Rock finally, I thought they timed it perfectly because The Rock was great, but he still had some growing to do, I think, even though he was just amazing. He was one of the best superstars, and at that point, he could have gone up against Austin. He did for the, the smoking skull and all that, and before that, he went with Austin on the IC belt and everything. But, you know what I mean? The Rock really grew to full potential during the corporate ministry thing, and then just after that, the corporation and all the things that they did. And, you needed to create a top heel for Stone Cold to face. But this is a situation where I don't think that face Roman is going to work, because face Roman going up against any other of the top 7 or 6 out of 10 faces isn't going to work, because Roman Reigns right now, he's sort of in limbo. He's mega over with a 30% of the WWE audience, right? If you're listening, there's probably some people out there love Roman Reigns. They're obsessed. He's like your number one guy. But there's people also out there that love AJ Styles, and they're his number one guy. And I think none of these wrestlers are over the right way. You know what I mean? None of these wrestlers are an 8, 9, or 10 out of 10. None of the wrestlers. Nobody in the WWE. Nobody. You could say John Cena, even at this point, isn't even there. You know what I mean? Because people have just seen the act for so long. I think Cena is the best maybe promo in the WWE now, and that's fucking sad, because he kind of comes out and says a lot of the time the same shit over and over again. But still, Cena is one of the top promos in the WWE, and everyone's like a 7 out of 10. For me, Cena's a 7 out of 10 because I've seen the act so much, but he's gotten way better recently than he had been in the past. So I give him a 7 out of 10. Roman Reigns, I give him a 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? He's like a face, but nobody really likes him sometimes, and they boo him, and some fans cheer for him like crazy, but then everybody else hates him. He's booked weird, he's pushed, and sometimes they back off the push because they're not ready for him yet. I mean, it's very discombobulated and very strange. Really is. With Roman Reigns. It's a very strange situation. By the way, guys, my name is Joe Cronin. Follow me on Twitter @RealCronin. My new Twitter account @RealCronin. We'll be live tonight for Monetize This. Remember that. Don't miss it. 11 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. You guys can call 339-226-6610. You guys can vote and donate and all those things you want to do tonight. My show relies on donations, so if you've never donated before, now is a great time to do it, because I need the help more than ever, and that's all I'll say. But Roman Reigns. I think if you flipped him heel and made it concisive that this guy is an absolute piece of garbage and a bad guy, that people would really, really get behind him. You may even have some of the younger audience flip and start to like him because he's a heel, and then at some point you can flip him back to face. But I really do believe that if you made him just the most evil guy in the WWE, you'd make money. You'd make a lot of money. Ratings would go up. House show attendance would go up. TV tapings, the TV show would go up. Everything would go up. Money would go up. Then you could have Pyro again every Monday Night Raw instead of not having Pyro because they're losing so much money. You wouldn't have to keep freaking out to create different revenue streams to bring in money in different ways because you're trying to make up for what you're losing in the U.S. and North American audience. And I think this is an easy solution. I think it makes perfect sense. And it may happen even. But if Roman goes to Saudi Arabia, doesn't win the belt, and that's all that happens, oh well, I guess that happened. I think they wasted a huge opportunity. If Roman goes to Saudi Arabia and wins the belt and stays face, or so-called face, because, he's not really. He's kind of face. See, the WWE thinks like, oh, well, they always make this argument. Well, half the chance, let's pretend half the fans cheer for him and half of them boo him. The WWE will say something like, oh, well, half the fans boo him and half the fans cheer him, so if we turn him, they'll just flip-flop. So it will just still equal out, and it won't make any sense. So we'll just keep him how he is. I disagree with that. If you flip him heel and make him a dick, then instead of half the fans, I would dare say 80% of the fans would boo him. And if you could get 80% of the fans to just constantly hate him and boo him, wow, you got money. I'm telling you, though, if Reigns wins in Saudi Arabia and comes back heel, that will be amazing. If Reigns wins in Saudi Arabia, wins the belt, comes back not heel, then that's fucked up. And the only way I can see Reigns losing to Lesnar again in Saudi Arabia would be maybe if Samoa Joe interferes in the match. And then that builds a feud with Samoa Joe and Reigns. Or Reigns is going to win the belt, and then he will have a feud with Samoa Joe. But if he does that, I'm really concerned that Reigns is going to be the same old Reigns. The same old Reigns that comes in and just says, I'm the big dog and blah, blah, blah. No, I want Reigns heel because that will make money. Right now, stagnant Reigns isn't making the money they need to make. Indie wrestlers coming into the company, Shinsuke, AJ Styles, they're not doing it either because the writing in WWE sucks. If the writing got better in WWE and the booking is sometimes okay, but the writing got better and the booking, and listen, I'm not blaming the writers because I know a lot of good writers that have worked at WWE, and I don't know what is going on because they come up with great ideas, but then they come up with all these other ideas, and it's like they're not used at all, and I don't understand what's going on there. I don't get it. Somebody is blocking good ideas, and I think we know who it is, but something doesn't make sense. If you flip Reigns heel, you will elevate all the faces. You still won't get that number one face yet unless something morphs from it, but it would be a better direction. And rather than just keep repeating myself, I'm going to end the video here. What do you guys think? I really 100% believe Roman Reigns should go heel in Saudi Arabia, win the Universal Championship, or at least win the championship in Saudi Arabia, return to the U.S. on Monday Night Raw as a heel, or start laying the groundwork for him being a heel. And base it on the fact that the Saudi Arabia people cheered for him, but in America, this is what happens. I mean, it's so obvious, right? India, too. You could say the Indian people love me. Those people are great fans. But here, for some reason, man, you guys would rather tweet mean things on your phone, that type of stuff, and play into some of the truth and the reality. It would be really good. And Roman could say something even like this. And listen, I know some of you out there do love me and do like me and do respect me. But right now, I'm drawing the line in the sand. You're either with me or you're against me. And then drop mic, leave with title, right? Now, that's starting to send the signals to everybody. And then he should get worse from that point on. Bam, you are creating money. money. But that's just my opinion. My name is Joe Cronin. Guys, I'll see you tonight for Monetize This on my other channel. Make sure you go to my other channel, youtube.com/JCS Gaming, which is known as Battle Royal Battalion. We'll be live for Monetize This tonight. Thank you very much to everybody who upped their Patreon pledges. If you guys would like the bonus content, it's patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Every $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever it is, goes to obviously keeping my show on the air, keeping these videos coming. So if you really enjoy this stuff, I hope you guys can support. But also you get a bunch of stuff. If you're a $5 a month patron, you're going to get 6 to 10 hours of bonus content a week on Patreon. Thank you guys. Hit the sub button or the notifications bell below to get notifications of my future videos. And let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be reading them about Roman Reigns. And again, I respect everything he's done. I'm a little jaded of a wrestling fan, but I really want him to go heel, and I really will enjoy him. And he is over, but he would be really over if he was heel. And the WWE would make money like they haven't in the last 5 years.